Hey, what is going on? I have no idea because this is going to be Zodman in Red Alert 3. By the way, I'm Sybert, if you didn't know. This is going to be Zodman as the Cyan Soviets on the right side of Infinity Isle, and on the left side of Infinity Isle we are going to have Kivi as the Green Soviets. What? Wait, what? I don't even know what I just said there. But anyways, we are going to have a Soviet versus Soviet mirror matchup. Once again, following that previous Red Alert 3 game that I cast a little while ago that was Empire vs. Empire on Command & Republic, which was a pretty wonky, crazy game. And we are going to be seeing dual bears out of both of these players, and then they're probably going to be going for some engineers to capture that oil derrick. And look at that, even Zodman sending around a bear around the south side of the island to get some scouting information. But we are going to be seeing, oh, the first kill goes to Kivi, but Kivi, of course, playing as his very usual green Soviet player, and Zodman I am unfamiliar with, but hopefully we will see a pretty good play out of him today. But we are going to be seeing Zodman actually get the upper hand in that engagement right there, but he is going to have to deal with several bears, and Kivi going to be able to get the extra kill there. So we are now going to be 2-1 for bear kills, but, oh, mutually assured destruction. It's like nukes, but with bears, because, you know, they yell a lot, so I don't know. That was a horrible analogy. Please do not, just please ignore it. Simple ignore it. We are going to be seeing a War Factory out of Kivi, and the same exact thing out of Zodman, but Zodman out of money, getting delayed a teeny tiny little bit there, just very slightly. Actually, I'm not sure, it kind of looked like he was getting delayed, but he may not have been. It may have been my imagination. But we are going to be seeing bears just engaging in the middle, which is of course basically a favorite pastime on this map, but because players always do it despite the fact that it doesn't really do anything. Like 99% of the time you're going to see this. You're going to see players kill each other's bear for like a couple minutes, and then one of the players will eventually gain a slight advantage, and then they'll move to like over here. You don't really gain any scouting information, but more importantly, you deny your opponent's scouting information. So while the mid-game or midfield bear battles are kind of tradition, they're almost pointless. I mean, it would be better if both players just didn't do it, because it has basically the same outcome. But we are going to be seeing what single sickle trying to sneak into the base, but it is going to get taken down, locked down by a terror drone, and taken out by a couple of different sickles by Kivi, by the Green Soviet. But we are going to be seeing Zodman throw down that cache for clunkers upgrade right there, and by upgrade I do mean support power, or rather top secret protocol, as they're technically called, just because he was like, hey, I'm going to lose this unit, might as well get 200 cash for it anyways. But we are going to be seeing a little bit of back and forth here, a little bit of saber rattling from both of these players. Both of the players are like, hey, I want to do some damage, but I don't want to take a whole bunch of damage. And we're going to be seeing, oh, both of these terror drones almost getting a zap off there. I thought he was going to be able to engage, but not quite able to. Zodman on the other hand, he is going to be going for a super reactor, and I can only imagine Kivi doing the same thing, placing it right next to his oil derrick, but also his reactor. So if this thing goes down, that means that basically all of Kivi's power will go down. And both of these players have expanded to the middle, moved their MCVs as well to set up that build radius and get a barracks on the line. And we are going to be seeing our first real engagement. We do have sickles and a sickle getting locked down, but the terror drone isn't really doing anything because these sickles do not want to run away currently. But we are going to be seeing quite a bit of damage being done by Kivi, and that's actually going to be losing these sickles, pressing forward, trying to do some more damage. But who is going to be in the lead? I think Zodman has more forces, but most of them are infantry. Is he going to be able to do any damage? Because this hammer tank is now here, and locking down one of these terror drones is absolutely huge, because it keeps the terror drone from getting inside of that hammer tank, and he needs to be taking out the sickle and then running over those infantry. But he needs to stay away from this terror drone so he doesn't lose it to the hammer tank. And by that I do mean the hammer tank doesn't get taken out by the terror drone. We are going to be seeing lots of infantry, and these bears are going to finally get into the fray, and Kivi is going to be able to clean this up. No, just kidding, because we have a bear out of Zodman going to be roaring just as much, and a Tesla trooper going to be trying to even the odds, and a single hammer tank from Zodman going to be able to take out this hammer tank from Kivi. Why is he attacking that? He could just reverse move, like really? In Tiberium Wars and in Kane's Wrath, players insist on reverse moving anywhere, no matter what, even if you're reverse moving into a battle. And Red Alert 3, people just don't want to reverse move. I mean, Kivi could have totally reverse moved with that tank away and had the leech beam going, but he decided not to, taking a little bit of extra damage there. And oh, that hammer tank just crushing that bear, and that conscript going to be able to do a little bit of damage to that barracks, and he is going to be going right into Kivi's base. Just kidding, because Kivi is throwing the sickles right away and pushing them right into the line of fire to try and distract these hammer tanks so he can bring his own hammer tanks up to the fray and do some damage. And a single ball flag is going to be a waste of money currently, but oh, getting the lockdown of those hammer tanks, brilliant move by Kivi, and almost a lucky move that Zodman wasn't paying more attention and able to crush that Tesla trooper. And by crush I do mean destroy, because Crushing wouldn't work so well. But we are going to be seeing, oh, that bear get run over just as he tried to yell, locking down that one Tesla trooper. And now is he going to have enough to finish this off, or is Zodman going to be pushed back? And yes, pronouns do get extremely confusing when I don't clarify who is who in this battle of he versus he, but we are going to be seeing the single Tesla trooper locking down so much. And can the terror drone take out these tanks, or is he going to be going for that Tesla trooper? That is the correct choice, and getting that cash back once again. But this is a pretty big deal in this early game because not very many hammer tanks for either player. We do have one more coming out of Zodman, and is there any more going to be coming out of Kivi, or is he going to be going for a tech up? He is going to be losing this hammer tank, but he is going to get a couple of shots off on that conscript, who's is basically not going to do anything. And oh, there goes the bathroom armor, going to be dropping those toxins and destroying, well, actually just killing, not really destroying, that single conscript, doing a little bit of damage to the hammer tanks. Hammer tanks going to be pushing forward. Kivi going to try and make something happen, but pulls back because he's like, hey, I can't really take that. Oh, just kidding, because I want to, wait, what in the world? That was, okay, it looked like it was a cyan beacon. So it looked like Zodman was dropping something on his own units, which was very confusing. Maybe, I mean, it was a green beacon. It had to have been a green beacon, but it looked cyan for just a moment there, and it was slightly confusing. But we are going to have Kivi going to be expanded actually to his opponent's base, throwing, or his opponent's third rather. This base over here, or this expansion over here, that rarely gets taken, but we are going to see both of these players, actually Kivi throwing down a wall just to add a little bit of buffer zone, a little bit of a barrier, and give him a couple of extra seconds. If he goes for some dreadnoughts, that would be absolutely crazy. That would do some massive damage to this land-based army and be able to, you know, take out these expansions and the main base for Zodman. But Zodman going to be focusing on the wall. Why? I have no idea. He is going to be losing the ground battle just a little bit there, and the Tesla trooper is going to be doing a little bit of damage, locking down that one hammer tank and allowing Kivi to take out two hammer tanks and take out quite a few infantry of Zodman as well. Zodman not doing too great anymore, but he is going to be throwing down a Tesla coil, not a sentry gun, but rather a Tesla coil, and throwing down an airfield as well. So he's really going for this naval play, and he is going to be able to do some damage over here. It would be great if he could take out this expansion, because currently these players are going to be equal on expansions. Kivi really needs to expand, and oh, a single hammer tank strike force with that twin blade, which reveals a couple of things, of course, being, hey, I have twin blades, and also I'm dropping your base, while Kivi is going to be pressing the main. But with the Tesla coil now down, that should be enough to hold this army off and even make it turn around. But quite a few casualties being taken by Zodman right there. And does Kivi have anything? There is that bullfrog, which is no longer useless, just a long-term investment. But is Zodman, he is going to be spotting this base over here. And he's like, oh, hey, I see you, what's up? And this MiG is like, oh, hey, I see you, I'm going to shoot you in the face with my rockets. And actually, one or three of these twin blades may get taken out, and even a little bit of splash damage there, and these other twin blades should be able to escape. At least one of them should be able to escape, and one does go down. Will even just one more to get taken out, or will it? And one more rocket will do the job. No, I lied, it was two more rockets. Anyways, we are going to be seeing a little bit of back and forth, and the air superiority does go to Kivi. Now with two MiGs, that is going to be a bit of a gap that Zodman will need to make up. He's probably going to be producing some MiGs right now. He already has one out of the gate and going for a second, but he's out of money. He hasn't really taken too much economic damage. He is going to be throwing down, I can only guess, a battle lab out here. Wait a second, what? Oh, here we go. A naval yard, actually, of his own, going to be going down out on the boonies and the water? What are the boonies of the water? Because, like, on land, it's the sticks, but there's not a whole lot of wood in the ocean, and yeah, I don't know. But we are going to be seeing a couple of MiGs camping this spot over here, and is it going to be a twin blade? No, it is going to be an Akula sub, not out of the... Surprisingly not, there's a twin blade out of the naval yard, but we are going to be seeing a couple of MiGs showing up for Kivi. Actually just showing up to kind of settle down and get some more ammo. And is Kivi going to be going for the naval yard? That would probably be the best choice if he could in fact take it out before anything gets produced, but he is going to be going for rather the ore refinery. And oh, poor Kivi, getting his naval yard, or his Akula sub, completely locked down by that terror drone. He will be able to do a little bit of damage, but sniping a single MiG of Zodman, and not a whole lot of other ground battles going on at the current moment. But we are going to see some stuff out on the sea. And it does look like the ore refinery will stand by the end of this, but we are going to be seeing a Akula sub. And oh no, with the Stingray, especially his secondary ability, he can clear that Tesla, or not that Tesla, that terror drone out of there just like he did. So just kidding, actually Kivi knowing the game a little bit, which may be surprising, but it shouldn't be because it's Kivi. I mean, these are little tricks of the trade. And Kivi, or it's Zodman on the other hand, going to be going for this ore refinery. Is he going to get it? Probably not with the twin blade there. And then once again going to be turning his attention to this naval yard, and by once again I mean for the first time in this game. But Zodman now at a slight disadvantage, economic disadvantage, that is. He needs to press an advantage or do some economic damage to Kivi of his own. But we are going to be seeing the naval yard go down, selling it off for 49 credits. Actually, I'm kind of curious, do you get the money if the enemy destroys it while it's being destroyed, while it's like being raised? Do you get that money if it's going down? If you've already clicked sell and it says you got the money, does it take that money away if it gets destroyed? Because I just don't really know, but we are going to be seeing the MCV leading the fray into the fight, leading the fight into, I don't even know, but leading into the fight with his MCV. Zodman is going to be charging into Kivi's base and taking a lot of damage without doing anything. He's not really doing a whole lot. He is going to be able to possibly take out the battle lab with his Tesla troopers, but then the MiGs just get totally owned by a Bullfrog and a couple of MiGs out of Zodman. Zodman is trying to make something happen. Oh, locking down 4 of Kivi's hammer tanks. What is up? Zodman showing he knows how to do this stuff as well, and going to be able to focus down the single hammer tank from Kivi. Can he take this game? This would actually be pretty crazy if he could, but actually going to be able to possibly lock down these 2 Tesla troopers. Can he get the Tesla coil to finish? He's trying to continually chain lock down these Tesla troopers to keep them. And oh, the Apocalypse tank is now here, so this MCV is definitely going down, but Zodman will lose his Tesla coil if that is in fact his. No, it actually is Kivi's. Kind of hard to tell with these blue-green dots on the front page of the, front page on the mini-map? I don't even know what I'm saying at any point anymore, but is he going to be able to chain lock down those Tesla troopers, or will he just try and run them over? No, he is going to actually just shoot them to death, but actually able to take down that battle lab, which sets the tier 3 back to 0, or actually back to tier 2, actually. Rebuilding that battle lab for Kivi is going to be what he's doing right now, and he is going to be moving forward a little bit with his Apocalypse tank, running over his own wall segment before pushing into Zodman's base. But actually, he's already pushing into Zodman's base with the almost useless Stingray, which has basically no HP and will instantly get killed by this Tesla coil as soon as it's in range. Oh, he's going to turn around and try and fight a hammer tank. Just kidding, because one shot. Which that is a Tesla coil that is jacked up on a lot of juice from these Tesla troopers. So it's not entirely that Stingray's fault, but we are going to be seeing just a couple of Kula subs not doing a whole lot, but Zodman, I would say, is definitely at a disadvantage because, hey, 3 ore nodes versus 4 ore nodes is what the status of the game is going to be. But also Hammer Tank's going to be engaging, and Zodman is going to be trying to do some damage. Is he going to be able to lock down the Apocalypse tank? Yes, he is. Kivi trying to put his money into that Apocalypse tank, running over one of those, and is going to be calling in a Badger Bomber to do some damage too, and take out that, I don't even know, take out that Tesla Trooper. But we are going to be seeing this Hammer Tank get locked down kind of in the fray, but the Leech Beam from the Apocalypse tank not coming into play at all, and actually Kivi sacrificing a couple of units. Why are you doing this? A bad rally point is actually what is happening there. But Zodman losing some units there, losing that Tesla Trooper, and actually just keeping his, and throwing down away another bear, but also just throwing away a couple of different MiGs, just keeping them there, and that bear finally gets stopped by Kivi. He's like, oh, I guess I shouldn't kill my own units with that support power, but Kivi with a clutch Badger Bomber Toxin drop going to be kind of saving himself. He was able to escape out of that area and kill off that Tesla Trooper, save his Apocalypse tank, which he desperately needs, and going to be calling in the satellites. Is Zodman going to let it hit? He will let a couple of them hit, but mostly they just hit the observation post. Observation post is like the Honey Badger, he just don't care. He will take damage all day from those satellites and not care, but we are going to see a lot of Tesla Troopers versus a lot of Tesla Troopers, and by a lot I do mean not very many, just a couple, but it is going to be a terror drone going to be locking down a single hammer tank and trying to leech off of all of these hammer tanks trying to do damage to that Apocalypse tank, and it's just sitting there taking a Kivi. What are you doing? Trying to hold the hammer tanks in place for the B4 to do its damage, but the hammer tank, or the Apocalypse tank's just now moving forward and totally losing it. Kivi basically threw that Apocalypse tank away. I don't know why he did that. He was trying to maybe hold the hammer tanks in place while he could do damage with the B4. That didn't work out very well, and that doesn't seem like a very good move to me. But he is going to be doing a little bit of damage to the economy of Zodman, a little bit more, which means he now has half the economy that Kivi has, so Kivi can afford a couple of losses and still come back from it. He is going to be seeing another Ore Collector going down, not even prolonging the life of that Ore Collector by switching to that Adaptive Armor, and no MCV still out of Zodman, so he's just going to be chilling with well, 3 Ore Collector, or 3 Ore Nodes, but only 1 Ore Collector at this time. Does he even have enough to rebuild those Ore Collectors? No, not quite. He hasn't even started, and I think this game will go to Kivi unless Zodman can just push forward and do some massive damage, doing damage to his own units, but it does look like that other hammer tank will go down right there with that, actually sniping his own Tesla Trooper. I was about to say that Tesla Trooper got the final shot on, but then the V4 just owns the Tesla Trooper. Sorry guys, I just launched a giant missile, figured it'd be okay if you guys were standing right next to it, and game over for Zodman. Which, good game from both of these players. Zodman not able to take a win off of Kivi, which, you know, taking a win off of Kivi is a pretty difficult thing to do anyways, but this is going to be another fairly exciting game. A little bit more of a traditional macro-oriented game, although not crazy big armies or anything like that, but an interesting game nonetheless. And some, oh wow, that resource graph actually a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. Kivi going to be able to come out in the lead at the end there, crossing over and taking the resources back, and actually Zodman only collecting 10,000 less over the 15 minutes of that game, but that is going to be doing it for this game. I am Sybert signing off.